So we may ask ourselves, well, what is this all about? What is this meeting about? What is this conversation about? It's about coming to clarity and about living according to your clarity. Because to come to an understanding that, yes, I am consciousness, will not change all your habits of reverting to, why did she do this to me? Why did he do that? Why, and getting, no. You have to live the path, live your understanding. Because in living your understanding, then you're living as consciousness. And the tendencies of ignorance, the tendency of identification, have a chance to release.
Well, when I hear this, there's a certain level of frustration at the personal level. It takes, if you talk, for example, I don't know what you might be. There are people who wake up just instantaneously. They heard something that clicks, but they wake up. Most of us take.
But they don't. Waking up does not mean the end of the journey. Waking up is just a glimpse into consciousness. It's just an awakening. It's an enlightenment experience. But I'm not talking about enlightenment experiences.
No, I don't talk about. I didn't mean it in those terms.
Okay.
Because what I really want to refer to is that it takes years. He took Rupert Spira himself. Yeah. This is over 20 years in search.
Yes.
So what I was looking for is for those of us who come back to satsang over and over, is because there's this longing within the body.
No, the longing is not within the body.
Oh, but longing, whatever you want to place it, Mike, the longing in the heart.
Yes.
Okay.
In the heart, yes.
In the heart. Mm-hmm. And so we hear the beautifulness of all of this, but it's not that. I think the longing is a genuine longing.
Yes.
Because we see the suffering with the personal self, the identification, the separation, and so on. But I wish that sometimes you could go a little step, something that we could hold on to or practice, for example, between satsang. You say that if I now mention thinking myself of consciousness all the time, it can, for that kind of habit to then actualize itself and become that. Because I forget. I get into activities and I forget. So could there be something that you could say, think in these terms?
Well, I mean, right now you're referring, I forget, I need something to help me, I need a practice. And so what is this I? Is this, you keep referring to I as a person. So if you want to practice, here you are. The practice is look at what you are assuming this I to be. Every time you say I, or you think I, or you feel I, right? Which you do throughout the day, right?
Right.
Ask yourself, what is this I? Is this I an old ancient I that have been dragging along and along? That same I, that same naggy, draggy, pain in the guzumbu I. Is this the I that I am? I. Or is there an I right here, right now, that is completely free of all these freaking stories? It's completely free. That is pure 100% free of that historical I. Ask yourself that question. Go with that question as far as it takes you.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, Magdi, is yes, I can go on that and I can get the understanding however you want to put it. But then something comes up. I remember at one time we talked, somebody knocked on the door. Mm-hmm. And what happens when somebody knocks on the door? or some kids, grandchildren say something, or you have to take an action, or they get a phone call with something completely different. It's just then it evaporates.
What evaporates?
You go back to it each.
The question about what am I evaporates. Well, you need to answer the door. So you answer the door, but you don't spend your day answering doors.
I'm just no, but what I'm saying is something happens.
Okay.
Something
happens to whom?
And then
to whom? What
we can be trapped in words
what no not words.
No,
not ask then ask yourself when things are happening, because you're looking for practice. Here's a practice. When something happens, knock on the door. Ask yourself, what is it that is hearing this knock knock knock? Okay, is it the body that's hearing the knock knock knock? Or is it I that's hearing the knock, knock, knock? If you come to the conclusion that it is I that is hearing the knock, 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 then ask yourself, what is this I that is hearing the knock, knock, knock? Is it that old historical I that have been dragging along all my life? Or is there an actual I right now that is hearing this knock, 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 that is complete freedom of all the past, freedom from the past? Ask yourself this question, so that events that happen in your life, like knocking on the door, can also be an opportunity for you to contemplate what is there a reality right now that is perceiving this knock, 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 that is complete freedom, that is complete freshness, that has no history. That has no history.
I guess that question had to be asked over and over and over again. Just simply asked again,
yes,
each
because
quote unquote
because
happening
you
or activity or whatever.
Absolutely, because you're interested in the revelation of truth, of what is it that's what the reality, right, that perceives right now. I know that you hear these words that I'm saying and you say, well, darn, that's not my experience. Fine, it's not your experience, because it's not an experience. But irrespective of that, if you turn your attention towards consciousness, to keep on turning your attention towards consciousness, consciousness is going to turn its attention to you. But not, what I mean by consciousness, I don't mean by the I in time. I don't mean by the body-mind experience. I'm referring to I as consciousness. Consciousness is not in time. Time, the impression of time, is in consciousness, but consciousness is not in time. Consciousness does not occur in time. It's time, like now it's 10 o'clock or whatever time it is, appears in consciousness. See? So whatever has a time quality to it, whatever is aging, growing, changing, that's not consciousness. That's a phenomenal event. Whatever is not changing, is not aging, is not aching, is not growing, is not becoming smarter, that's consciousness. Grosso modo, I mean,
One of the things I learned from you, Magdi, is this notion of looking for the qualities that are outside of the continual grind of thought. And if I have a glimpse of something, then, and look for the qualities, then it's a feeling, and it feels lighter, and it even kind of becomes light. And then as I explore that more, things are happening within light, and there's nothing that's really not. So that becomes a space that I can expand and enjoy and smell, and that really just liberates the whole, grind of existential experience.
Beautiful. It's the identification in this existential experience. It's the identification with something, with a family, with a body, with a nationality. Any identification is limiting. Consciousness doesn't identify with anything. Consciousness is everything. Yeah? It doesn't, doesn't matter. Elephants, crocodiles, butterflies, it's all right on. It's all yes. Sea creatures, volcanic eruptions, beautiful sunsets, it's all yes. Everything is yes for consciousness. It does not identify with anything. And you are this consciousness. You are consciousness. Consciousness is not some idea. But consciousness, always referring to the reality that perceives, truth, the reality that perceives this perception. There is a reality that perceives this perception. That is the knowingness. Yes? So you have to let go of the old memories and old habits and old debris that we carry along with us. Just let them go. Just remain in your freshness. Remain in the freedom of the self right now, the freedom of consciousness right now. Why not? I mean, it's lovely. It's just lovely. It's just go for what's lovely. It's lovely. No history, no stories. No, don't collect. Do not collect. Yeah. Allow it to. It's all a cosmic dance of waking dreams. Like in your dreams, it's just whatever occurs in the dreams. Yes. Don't you let. It's open borders. No, there are no borders. Like in the dreams, there are no borders. Remain borderless. Why? Because you are borderless. It's silly to say remain borderless. It's like, oh, what do I do to remain borderless? Recognize your borderlessness. That's more proper to say. Recognize your borderlessness, your edgelessness. You recognize your formlessness and your eternity. Recognize your infinity. The infinity of consciousness. Yes, the formlessness of consciousness. Recognize that. That you are not a form. You're not a form.
That, what you're describing now, is something that I can sort of contemplate, certainly here,
Yes.
at home, maybe meditating.
Yes.
Out in quote-unquote daily life, working, interacting with people, to do whatever you have to do to earn a living, errands, everything else. The interactions with various personality types and all that kind of thing. So this kind of contemplation, of course, can enter into that and help all of that feel lighter. But at least for me, at this stage, if it is a stage, there is plenty of being, the sense of the ego being pulled into, sort of area of activity and a sense of identity that has its own tendencies that have deep roots. And so, for me, there seems to be two things to do, at least. One is what you're describing, the other is to, lately, I feel like I kind of look forward to being irritated, being uncomfortable, unhappy, because there are opportunities to see if I can carry that contemplation into those moments. And when I can, then it's encouragement to keep trying, and then it makes such things not so bad, and even something to look forward to working with.
Because when you're unhappy, There is awareness of unhappiness. And awareness is not unhappy. Body-mind is unhappy. This is awareness of unhappiness. When there is a toothache, the body is not happy. It's the nerve is irritated and is sending signals. Okay, take care of me, take care of me. But there is awareness of the toothache, and the awareness is not unhappy. So yes, this is, as you say, it's really lovely in those opportunities of unhappiness and discomfort, and those roots that you said, those habits that have roots. There is an opportunity to realize in those moments that awareness is free of that I awareness, because you are the awareness, is free of. And so you realize your freedom. It's easy to realize your freedom when you're with friends, sitting, having a nice dinner, a sip of wine, everything is beautiful. But it's even better to realize that your freedom, you're untouched, that you as awareness, as consciousness is untouched. And there is a storm. And what's very lovely with this understanding is that your dream, meaning those roots that create this discomfort, will loosen up, because the storm of consciousness, well, like you said, consciousness is storm, but it uproots them and dissolves them. You will find yourself in situations where previously you may have felt irritated. You may find yourself untouched. If somebody says you're blah 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 blah, and you go, I see. No, nada, nothing. Okay, fine. And in time, the whole distinction between satsang time and daily lifetime, that whole transition phase, there's no more transition. It's like presence. All images appear. Presence is. Consciousness is. 495, at home, all these images, hunger, tiredness, sleep, at work, the missus, I don't like this about 20-year-olds, okay. Just its appearances. There's a freedom. The freedom just keeps growing and growing and growing and growing in a celebration. In the contemplation. As I said, the contemplation never ends. At some point, suffering ends, but the contemplation keeps. The perfume and the deepening of the contemplation and the revelation keeps growing. It's like you're walking in the forest, going for a walk on the trail. The more you're on the trail, the more you encounter beautiful animal species and plants and weather and all sorts of gurgling, broken streams, etc. It's all very lovely.